You're listening to the Pants Off Podcast with Clark Bartram and Jeremy Jackson. CBT's Performance Apparel, where fashion meets performance. Upload your custom design or grab the CBT's Deal of the Week at clarkstees.com. The podcast with CB and JJ is sponsored by Providence Video Productions in Escondido, California, providers of full creative video and audio production services. Utilizing state-of-the-art professional equipment for all your broadcast needs. Webpage, embedded or live streaming videos and podcasts. Aerial drone videography. Music videos, 3D animation, studio and field production. Contact us at providencevid.com.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are live on the Pants Off Podcast.
There's the music.
And I know our guest is probably thinking, nobody told me about my pants being off.
Well, that's what I was actually wondering. I was wondering why your pants aren't off.
Whoa!
Whoa! She just jumped right into this right here.
That's what your show's called. So I was expecting you to have your pants off.
You knew that prior to coming in? You knew what it was called?
Yes.
Oh, she did her homework on us,
That's why
JJ.
I said yes. I wanted to see Jeremy with his pants off.
Wow, you might get to see Jeremy, but I promised my wife that I would not do that today. But before we get into all that, I think you deserve a proper introduction. So, my man Jim has got a little video clip he's going to play for us right now, and then I'm going to have my man Jeremy give you a beautiful introduction.
Oh, wow.
On the Pants Off Podcast.
Get up, Danny.
It's worth the wait.
Hey, baboons are trying to rip off snorkelers from us.
Looks like you've worn out your stay in Haleiwa. You better find another beach to prey on.
Look, Dyer, I didn't touch anything over there. Those guys are bums. Teach surfing. They can't even swim.
Listen to me, Danny. I know you. You lie and steal as easy as breathing. So as long as I'm on this beach, you're not welcome here. Got it?
Ooh, he got it.
I got scared off of that right there. I got chills a little bit too. We got a legitimate star in here with us, Jeremy Jackson. Tell everyone who we have in studio with us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the world-renowned, beautiful playmate, actress, reality star, realtor extraordinaire, Brande Roderick.
Woo! Thank you. Oh
Listen to that. We have applause and everything.
That's pretty high tech.
But I am so excited that you came in here today, Brande, and you are a beautiful lady. I have to say that right off the bat because I know that's what everyone's thinking. And
wow, thank you.
like Jeremy, like myself, you probably made a career off of your physical prowess, right? That's how you ended up on Baywatch and doing a lot of the other things that you've done?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
So fitness is a big part of what you do.
Yeah, well, I love health and fitness, definitely, 100%. Yep, all about drinking alkaline water and eating healthy, but also cheating. You know, I have my cheat days. That's important too. Otherwise, you go crazy if you don't. So
that's the core of who we are. You asked when you came in, you're like, well, what's this podcast all about? And I didn't really have a solid answer for you, but I guess my first question kind of gave you that answer in the fact that that's my career. I'm involved in the health and fitness industry, and I appreciate people who take care of themselves throughout their life, and you've obviously done that. So with that being said, let's go back to the Baywatch days, and I want to work my way through your career being as illustrious as it is. Were you guys ever on set together?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Tell us about some of that, man. What are some memories you have of this guy as a little young boy?
Oh, well, he wasn't a young boy when we worked together. When we were on set, we did the Baywatch movie.
Okay.
So he was kind of growing into being a man at that time.
Yeah.
And got to be with Summer, Nicole Eggert's character. She was the older woman.
Got to be with her how? I mean, you know, on set or off set or both on and off set? What's the deal?
I don't know. What was it? Good question.
Tells, you know?
I don't know.
Did he ever try hitting on you?
No.
No? He was respectful?
Yeah. Because I'm much older.
Well, I don't think Jeremy discriminates against anything.
And I was always I had a boyfriend at the time and then married. So no, we've always been very good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's actually, it's very cool because you're the first Baywatch Babe to come out here and join us. We're going to do a series, of course. I'm going to reach out to all the ladies. So you've blessed us. You popped our cherry, so to speak, with Baywatch Babes. And, you know, she's been very supportive over the years with me. You know, when I was doing nightclubs, she came out and did some appearances for me. And we've actually had really good times. She parties like a rock star. Always so sweet. And, you know, one of the few that's really kept the beauty going, kept the lifestyle going, you know, with the fitness and with the success and with pushing forward and, you know, living life and still maintaining some get up and go, you know what I mean? Not dropping the ball at all. She is still on point and as gorgeous as ever. And was so sweet and kind on the set. You know, she came in later in the show, which kind of almost is when all the kind of pieces were falling apart a little bit. Right. Which is a shame because she was one of the most beautiful girls, and you know she killed it, and it was fun. It was fun to work with her in Hawaii. Did you do Alaska awesome. Too, or was it Hawaii?
No, just
Alaska.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
just Hawaii.
And you were already on the Hawaii stuff, right? And then I came out because I had left the show and then came back, and she was already killing it in Hawaii.
Yeah, and that was the best. I mean, I feel like super lucky that I got to be shooting in Baywatch because I know you guys had a hard time when you were in Malibu and Santa Monica, just freezing all the time and getting sick and being out there at 5 a.m. So I'm just so glad I didn't have to deal with that. And I had nice, beautiful beaches of Hawaii.
Yeah. And, you know, we've worked with a lot of big names over the years, people that have gone on to have gigantic careers and stuff like that. Like
Jason Momoa
was out there.
Aquaman.
Yeah, who's now Aquaman. He was
so cool.
Conan the Barbarian, you know, has done a lot of cool stuff since. And it's funny because I remember when we were out there with him and people were like, oh God, they were like, his acting, it's so terrible. But he's so drop dead gorgeous and super cool. And it's interesting to see him hone his craft and perfect his acting and blow up now. You know, it's a testament to not giving up and not listening to haters and keeping pushing.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yep.
So, you know, having that type of success, being on the biggest show on the planet, Jeremy and I talked about this a little bit. When all of that ended, how did that make you feel? You know, you get all of this, you know, because every career has a point in time, every NFL player, all of it. You
Tipping
have to,
point, right?
Yeah, just that time when you have to be able to separate yourself from all of that activity. What did that feel like for you?
Oh my gosh. It was devastating, to be honest. I thought it was the best job in the world. And when it got canceled, it was pretty devastating. And when you go on a show like that and you're young and dumb, you think, oh, I've made it. You know, I've got all this money. And once you get that, you think you don't have to worry anymore. But once it ends, you know, you still have to get out there and hustle. You still have to audition. You still have to try to get the next gig. So it was hard because it was just the best. I don't know if you had as good an experience as I did, but it was just amazing. I loved living in Hawaii. I loved all the people that I worked with. We were all a family. And it was awesome. Yeah,
that wrap party had to have been a very sad time, right? When you guys were all together.
I think we had one. I don't think so.
It was kind of disheveled out there. You know what I mean? We all. It was a family, and it was amazing. But I mentioned the pieces kind of were falling apart. You know, and everyone was kind of scattering or so focused on their own deals. We had super big stars, and then we had people that weren't big stars that had become big stars, and. You know, it was definitely a family and a definitely experience, but it was also kind of every man for himself. And there was stuff going on, just like any business, any industry. People, you know, focused on their own addictions or obsessions, or, you know, producers and directors, and moving on to other stuff. And this person's getting way more money than that. So the waters got muddy. But you know, you were probably started to experience that with the Playboy stuff, you know, big like club bookings, people wanting you everywhere. So it's like whisked off on a adventure ride of, hey, can we just give you $30,000 to come to our club? Yeah, sure. You know, hey, can we just, you know, you want to be a series regular on the show? Yeah, sure. Hey, do you want to come to Europe real quick? And we're just going to give you all these free facials and clothes, and all you got to do is say hi to the camera while we do it, and some jewelry. And like, what? Yeah. You know, those like too good to be true ideas. Once they start rolling in, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah, so those club events, you just show up and party. You get paid.
Yes.
She's good at it too. To party. I booked a lot of celebrities to come and party. She's good at it. On the table. She's getting the sparklers going. She's hyping everybody up. She was fun.
Well, that's the key. You know, I think too often stars will believe in their own hype and just kind of sit back like, okay, I'm here at this party, keep everybody away. But when you're engaging like that, and you were very engaging. When you walked up, you were not acting as if you didn't want to be here. You get that from people sometimes. And I hang around a lot of people, either they're in the NFL or they've done massive things with their career. And there's nothing more ugly than someone who thinks they're so hot, regardless of how good looking they might be. You know?
And you know what? It's funny because I was just having this conversation with someone the other day, and they said, I just hate it when people change, that the fame changes them. And I always say, they don't change. I said, if they were ugly to begin with, they're going to be ugly afterwards. If you're a nice person to begin with, you're going to be a nice person to begin with. Right. I mean, you're going to end up being nice. That's just the way it is. It's not really, people don't just change and become a jerk. They already were a jerk.
Yeah. So Jeremy invited me to the Hoff's house. And we had talked about this on an earlier podcast. I don't get kind of starstruck by many people, but there's something about that dude, man. That he's got a light that shines around him. When he walked out, it was like the Red Sea had parted, and this guy just came strolling out almost on air.
Yeah.
And he just
you could
stood
hear
there,
the
and
Knight
I'm
Rider
like,
theme
wow.
song when he walked out, even though it wasn't playing. You could hear it.
You could hear it. And I'm like, this dude is legit. I mean,
so charismatic.
Yeah? So what was your experience like with him? I mean,
oh my gosh, he's just wonderful. The first time I ever met him, his family, his parents were in town. He invited me to go to dinner with his parents and get to know them. And he was just always super sweet and a lot of fun and always helpful. He was just, he's a great person to be around.
So with that being said, I remember those videos that went around. Wasn't it him that was the burger? Did you see that, and how'd that make you feel when all that was happening?
Just had a drunk moment and got caught on camera eating a hamburger.
All right, so you didn't feel like he was
I was like, I'm glad
control.
it wasn't me.
And how easily could it have been any of us, basically,
Totally.
right? I mean,
Absolutely.
People tend to forget that, like how many times have they had moments like that they
my
could have been
gosh.
humiliated, and how would a normal person handle that if millions of people saw them in their weak, drunk, silly, stupid moment? I mean, I've had a lot of those moments, and everybody loves to judge and point the finger and stuff. And there's a really gnarly story behind the truth of that, how it happened, why it happened, what happened after, how the tape was procured, and once you know the whole story, your heart breaks for him.
People are ruthless,
no, it's
man.
not good.
So what about when you saw Jeremy kind of getting into a little bit of his issues in his life afterwards? How'd that affect
What
you?
you talking about, man? I'm perfect. I never made no mistake.
Well, I think that Jeremy, and I could be wrong, but I think that when he and I met and got to know each other, you were already past that point.
Totally clean and sober. I was 21, I think 22. So I already had about a year or two under my belt, and I was kicking butt.
So I was not around when he was doing anything crazy or whatever. So I didn't see that side. I just know the good Jeremy side that I know.
Well, all of that is the good Jeremy side. And I'm such a fan of Jeremy's for the fact that he's been where he's been and ended up where he ended up and came back from that. To me, he is the epitome of an overcomer, a champion, a true man. Really, he is a man, because
100%.
How many of us have, messed up in life and, not admitted to it or not been willing enough to share that struggle with other people so they could recover as well. So to be able to do that and have been in the business and starting so young, and to be able to come out of that, the type of person that he is now is just amazing. And what he does for other people is just phenomenal. Yeah. It really is. So,
thank you.
segueing from Baywatch to the Celebrity Apprentice, now we have Donald Trump in office. And the reality is, with Trump as president, people either love him or they hate him. So you have personal experience with him being on the Celebrity Apprentice when he was the host of it. What is your... what was your interaction like with our president of the United States?
I was jealous. I think I was texting her while she was on the show. Hey, talk to Trump. See if I can get on the next episode. I'm like, why is that Baywatch person on this show and not me? That was a big gig. That was really cool to watch you on, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, that was fun. I had a great experience with him. He was great on the show, and super excited and stoked about him being president and all that he's already accomplished. And I'm rooting him on. He's doing such a phenomenal job.
Right on. So that being said, Jeremy, that's a good segue for me to go into. We have a sponsor
What?
We got a sponsor
Official?
today. Official sponsor is Frog Fitness right here, brother.
What?
And the reason I segued from the Trump thing is the owner of Frog Fitness and the inventor of what I consider the single most effective total body training device ever created in history is a huge Trump supporter. So that was a really good time to bring that up. So with that said, I want to play that commercial really quick if we could, Jim, on the frog. And we can watch that one again too. That's fine.
And I'm sure Frog would be willing to hook our guest up with one of those beautiful machines.
One word. What would you say about the frog? One word. Amazing. Amazing.
Excellent.
It really is.
Very easy to use. Hard.
Pretty damn tough.
Pretty awesome.
Intense. That's a butt kicker, man. Total fitness in one. Core. Wow. One word. Amazing.
Amazing.
Intense. That's the only word that comes in my mind.
Amazing.
Badass. Badass. Oh, that's 2 words. It's awesome. You need to get it. Complete.
Difficult.
Awesome. Crazy.
Tough. Just tough as hell.
Love it. Awesome. It's amazing.
Full body workout.
I guess exhilarating. Surprising. Hard.
Awesome.
Different.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Awesomeness.
Party that you can actually enjoy.
It was awesome. Very multi-dimensional. Hard. The burn.
The truth. Intense. Brutal fun. Awesome. Intense. Devastating.
Fantastic.
Fun. Full body.
Killer.
Pretty intense.
Get it.
It's awesome.
Get it.
Frog machine here, it sounds crazy, right? But goddamn it, it's the real deal Holyfield. Don't fuck with the frog.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, I want to see it
This
now.
one X-rated.
Well,
What
you
is
are
it?
going to see it because you know what we're going to do for you, Brandy, since you
What?
came in here and you're someone who likes to stay fit. I'm going to speak on behalf of Frog Fitness.
Oh.
We're going to
What's
give
going
you
on?
a frog.
What is it?
This is a $1,500. I feel like the
Wow.
Oprah podcast right
Dang.
Oh my god.
We're going to give you a frog. In addition to that, I need to give you. So there's some other gifts that we have.
Oh
for
my
everyone.
goodness. Look at
Okay.
Clark.
Thank
This
you.
is all
Yeah,
a surprise
Wow.
to me.
we're not. Oh, there's the frog right there.
What?
Try not to
Yeah.
look at me. You know, just
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
It's the most amazing piece of fitness equipment you've
What?
ever done in your life.
legitimately, it's the single most. I've been in this industry for 30 years, and I've never experienced
Whoa.
anything as unbelievably hard as that. And you know some NFL players. You were married to one, right?
Yep.
I've been to so many teams. I've put the best athletes on this thing and kicked everybody's ass.
Wow.
Yeah, it is phenomenal.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
with that being said, here's a frog shirt. That one's actually
Cool.
used. I'm going to be honest with you, but I didn't have any, but I figured, you know.
Clark makes these
As
shirts.
long as it's just your wife,
Yeah, it's
then
just my
we're
wife.
good.
It's just my wife.
Thanks, Anita. Appreciate the gift.
So then I have some other gifts too. So this title, the Pants Off Podcast, was developed by your co-host and your co-star there, Jeremy Jackson. He said, Clark, why don't we take our pants off? And normally we would be doing that right now, but I promised my wife I wouldn't do it. Just out of thanks, Anita. I love you.
You're too
awesome.
sexy, Brandy. That's why.
Everyone's got their
Maybe
pants
if it
on.
was like Martha Stewart in here, it'd be okay.
Right. But I thought it was a brilliant idea because, you know, like Jeremy said, he's been interviewed thousands of times and always with his pants on.
Mm-hmm.
And say what you said when Mitch was here about how it really just kind of gets you to the core of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the warrior way is to do things that are uncomfortable. To always be, we want to break down walls. We want to strip off the fake self. We want to get down to our authentic self. We want to break the norm, get out of the box. And, we had Tim Story last week call in, who's Oprah's life coach, Kanye's life coach.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a big deal.
Writer?
What's that?
Isn't he a director?
He's probably doing some stuff.
Okay.
And he said he'd be willing to come in here and drop trow and do an
Oh
interview
my gosh.
because it's not a sexual thing. It's about just being willing to try something uncomfortable and to strip down to the core of your, scared natural self.
So with that being said,
Okay.
I created
That's cool.
You haven't seen this yet.
What?
Look at that. A Pants Off Podcast shirt. So
Oh my gosh.
But I think you're more buff than this.
I am.
And you have more hair.
I thought I need to train legs. I need to train
No,
legs.
no.
I saw all this. I'm like, what's going on?
he's just very humble,
Whoever did this. So anyway, I made a shirt for everybody, but we're going to play a game right now, and we're going to see whose shirt is for who. There's one for Brandy, there's one for Jeremy, and there's
Okay.
one for Jim from
What?
Video Productions. So would this one be for Brandy, or who do you think this one's for right here?
Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. She's good. I was thinking for me in a hip hop video.
That's you. And hopefully you'll wear that and be proud of that.
And post it on Instagram and tag us.
Yeah, and then
Of
you
course.
choose which. You could have them both. You know, you have
Get
both.
two.
That's perfect. It's a good material too. It's nice and soft.
Yeah, it is. I use the best quality materials. But anyway, it's not
Only
a
the
commercial
best.
for me.
Hands
So,
off
Brande,
that.
we're going to give you a frog. So I'll set that up with you. I'll get that
That
to
is
you.
so cool.
And I want you to use it because I
will.
promise you, and you know, you can do it from home. It goes across a football field. Matter of fact, this bracelet right here is a challenge that we do. You have to be able to go across a football field and use the 4 movements that we have on the frog. And there's only been like 6 or 7 people that have completed it, and I was the first one.
And how many world-class athletes have tried?
Oh, dude, I mean, legitimately the best athletes on the planet.
Can't do it.
Do you sit on it and do like a
You
paddling
go
thing?
horizontal and you do like a squat, push, press, and there's a clutch in the wheel that will actually propel you forward, or you can unlock the clutch and you stand there like a slinky. Then you can take the
Yeah,
back wheels
yeah.
off.
So it's like a
stand
plank
it
with a
up.
squat press.
Yeah, stand it up and do all the typical vertical movements.
I don't think it works because Clark really doesn't look like
It doesn't work
very
your
in shape.
abs or any of that.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything.
Is there any? Will it work butt too? Buttocks?
It's the massive butt, yeah.
Butt and
because
abs.
Well, 'cause it's a
you're
perfect
going to
sprint.
bend your knees and really activate the glutes right there.
That's
so
what I want.
You're going to love this. I
Yeah.
promise you. You're really going to have a good time. So I have one at the house. We'll arrange it to where you can swing by. You're going out of town here soon.
Yeah.
And we don't want to keep you long, so I want to be respectful of your time. But I do want to cover, you know, more. You're in real estate now, right? So
Yeah.
how's that going?
It's going great. That's
10%
why,
off
yeah.
on all people watching the show right now. 10% off on houses.
Yeah.
Get them while they're hot.
Exactly. It's been great. I mean, I love it. I actually got my license originally when I was 18 years old. I graduated high school a year early so I can get my real estate license. So I've always loved it. And now since I have my 2 littles, I actually was in Louisiana shooting a movie, and I missed my youngest son's first day of kindergarten.
Oh.
So I decided, you know, enough's enough, and I'm going to pick a career where I could stay home and pick my own hours. And so that's how real estate came back into my life.
So you chose to get out of the entertainment gig. Mm-hmm. You didn't get forced out because of age or anything like that. You know, I
no,
mean, that's a real deal, right? I'm not saying you're old,
Yeah,
but I'm saying that's
I'm sure it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clark has a story like that, choosing family over the biz.
Yeah.
oh, you have to. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, family's so much more important than
Yep.
anything that we do in that industry because it's such a fickle and selfish place to be because they could give a damn about you, man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
You know?
a product.
Yeah, you're a commodity that is so easily okay. Next, whoever's next.
Yeah.
But
Yep. You got to pick what's important, and you only have so many years when they're little. So.
right. So how old are your littles?
6 and 8 now.
6 and 8 boys. Mm-hmm. Little
2
little
boys.
ruffians. Do they fight each other?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah?
They fight like crazy. But I mean, they're best friends. But I mean, they box. They do MMA. My
Nice.
oldest one does.
Very cool.
He trains with Dan Henderson and
Okay.
Smiling Sam, which since you're in Temecula, you probably know that
shout
gym.
out to Hendo. It's Edge. Is it? What's the gym?
It's just Dan. As far as I know, it's just Dan, Henderson's gym.
It's,
yeah.
it's team something. I forget, but I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they're awesome.
So we had an NFL linebacker in here, Gary Plummer, and your ex-husband was an NFL linebacker and Super Bowl champion and all of that.
Yep.
And has he had any issues with concussions? Because Gary has over 3,000 concussions to his, resume. And with all of that said, will you let your kids play football? So first with Glenn.
Yeah, he has a lot of issues. He's going through all the testing like everybody else. I mean, 11 years as a linebacker, not many people do that. And
No.
he did it. They usually last like 3 years. So he's had a lot of concussions, a lot of hits. So he's doing all the testing. He has memory loss and all the normal things that they get. But the kids are not allowed to play tackle football until they're in high school.
Okay.
So he lets them do flag football, but will not let them do tackle until their brains are more developed. And by then you at least have better coaches. He said, if you're doing Pop Warner and all these dad coaches, they don't know how to teach kids how to hit. So, your kids are going to get hit the wrong way.
Well, the sad thing is, though, I used to think that high school coaches would be better than the dad coaches in Pop Warner, but the reality is there might be one good coach and a bunch of bad ones because there's no budget for that. These guys get a little stipend at the end of the season, which is nothing. So there are some good ones. I'm not saying that across the board, but it's
Right.
unfortunate because I watched my son. I coached him from Pop Warner all the way up to college. I went to every one of his games, and he too has had some CTEs that have affected him in a negative way, and it's unfortunate to see because it's such a fun game, and we get so much joy out of it, either watching it or playing it or participating on some level, and to see these guys affected in the long run, and it could cause issues in relationships. It could cause issues in multiple different areas.
yeah.
So, that's
Well, we're
true.
pushing for baseball.
Yeah. Golf,
But
baseball,
I know
tennis.
they love. I mean, the youngest, he loves football. Though he already says he's going to be a quarterback. That's what he wants to do. But we're like, come on, be a pitcher.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think that, athletes are actually safer in MMA than they are in
Right.
football as far as injuries go. That's
well, no,
that's
you still
crazy
get your
concept.
head hit in, right?
Yeah, but less.
But it's not as intense.
Especially with jiu-jitsu, but boxing or what have you, you're not getting hit as hard, and as an athlete, I can say that I'm willing to sacrifice the body. I was like, I don't care if I have I don't care if I have dislocated knee and no ACL. Like, I still want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's important for the science to back up and protect these athletes that are willing to go in there and die. Like,
Right.
this is their soul. We talked about the warrior way earlier. Their spirit is just craving to get in there and do work. Regardless of the outcome. So it's important for us to protect those warriors out there.
So back to
Yeah.
Brande. Anyway,
Yeah.
while we have her here, we got to talk about her because she's so awesome. So we talked about Baywatch. We talked about the Celebrity Apprentice and your relationship with our president, Mr. President Donald Trump. Let's talk about Playboy. You were a Playboy Playmate. How was that? Now, do you have? So there are
Back
some
when it was
people
still
who,
cool to be a
who
Playmate.
look back on that and think, "Oh, I wish I didn't do it," or how was your whole deal with that?
It was an awesome, wonderful experience. For me, it was my stepping stone. Nothing but amazing things to say. I mean, that's where everything pretty much started. I mean, I did 90210 and Love Boat and things like that before I did Playboy, but I was in Playboy, and before the issue came out is when I got booked on Baywatch. And there's definitely that correlation. Most of the girls on Baywatch were also Playmates. So I think that definitely helped, and that's what started everything. And so for me, great experience. Hef was an amazing person. I'm very grateful to him and the experiences that he gave me. And for sure, it was awesome.
What was it like at the mansion, the parties and all that?
Well, like you said, when I was there is when it was cool. Shoot, every big name you can imagine was there at all the parties. Leonardo DiCaprio, George Clooney, Jim Carrey, Cameron Diaz, everybody. It was cool back then because
And the Playmates are the real stars when you go to the mansion. It doesn't matter who's there, how big they are. You girls were the center of attention, which is
that's
pretty
true.
cool.
But the cool thing was back then we didn't have social media. We didn't have to worry about anyone recording us and us doing something stupid and it being on TMZ.
Right,
so it was
eating a
awesome.
hamburger
And
drunk.
that's why there was celebrities that went there, because they knew it was a safe place. Now it's not. Anyone could have anything recorded.
So is there anyone there at that time that you kind of have to keep your mouth shut still about? Like, is hush hush, like, a pastor or some person that should not have been there, but you're like, oh, check it out, he's like a dude too.
I don't think there's anyone that shouldn't have been there, but there are things I may have seen with people that I would never tell. Some certain people in the grotto.
But this is the Pants Off podcast, so since we don't have our pants off, maybe we could talk about some things where
Okay.
people did have their pants off. And
I
shouldn't
did
have.
see my friend Vern Troyer in the grotto at one
Van
time.
Troy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
In a grotto with somebody at one time.
He's a
Really?
maniac. He's got a porn too.
Really?
So it's
He
not,
does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know if it ever came out, but yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a little person, normal size wiener,
and
and
it
a
was
little bit.
he was with a normal girl.
Was it a
normal-sized
normal
girl.
wiener?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I just walked in. I was like, oh, have fun. Okay, bye.
Awesome. Hey, God bless that girl.
Yeah. And it was like a hot, normal, like sized girl. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
You go burn.
That's legit. Hey, everyone has needs. It doesn't matter how tall you are. And if you're at
Yeah.
the Playboy Mansion and you're in the grotto and what happens in the grotto stays in the
Yeah.
grotto until now.
Well, I'm not saying who the girl was. So
Okay. Oh, so that's
So
the actual real
Playmate?
secret.
It wasn't a Playmate?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I got to get a grotto experience, which
Really?
was cool. Yeah, because when I was on the show, I was young. You know what I mean? So like, I'd hear my co-stars would be on like Howard Stern, and they'd be bragging about all this crazy stuff. And Pamela was dating Tommy Lee and Kelly Slater, and they were all doing grown-up stuff. And I was like, just.
You're how old at this time? You're how old?
Well, 14, 12, 13, 14. But when I'm like
gosh.
14, I'm like, I'm so close. Just let
me come.
I got stories.
Yeah.
So luckily, about 18 or so, I got to go in finally. Start getting those Baywatch experiences everybody else had finally.
So in the grotto, you were there in the heyday of the.
I think it was a little post real heyday, but it was still good. It was still real good.
Did you meet Hugh Hefner?
Yeah. A lot of times actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool.
Yeah. That's funny.
Kind of fun to relive those moments, huh? You go, how often do you do that? Do you reflect on that stuff much?
I did a lot when Hef had just passed, because you're going through all the old pictures and that sort of thing. But, not too often because the topic doesn't come up too much. But it's all good memories. So
yeah. What is your fondest memory of your career in the industry? What is one of your most special moments?
Oh my God, this is going to sound so boring. But I had been living in LA, for a while and living the lifestyle. And when I got the call that I got the Baywatch role, it was just like the happiest day of my life. Like I needed to go and like detox my life from LA. And I just remember, oh my God, I got a cassette. I got the Bible on cassette. And my drive to work in Hawaii was an hour through the pineapple fields to go to the North Shore. And so every morning at 5 a.m. I'd get up and I'd put in my Jesus tape and I would drive to set. And I would watch the sunrise as I'm driving to work. And it was just the best memory every day. I didn't even mind driving an hour to work. It was awesome.
See, that's real right there. I mean, you're in paradise. You're listening to the word of God. Yeah. You're being nourished in your soul, and you're going to do your dream job.
Yeah.
That's not boring at all. Okay. That's actually awesome.
Really
that is super awesome, man.
Very cool.
And that phone call, I think people who've never experienced that phone call that you've been waiting for, right? You go to the audition, you either nail it or you don't nail it. And we talked about the ones that you nail, you never get. So, but when you're sitting there, I remember I was on Kiana's Flex Appeal on ESPN, and I remember being at the gym and I got that call, and you're kind of you're hearing like 3 or 4 words, and then all of a sudden there's that one word that I got this. And it's such a good feeling to be like, wow, I've worked so hard. I went in, I did all these auditions, they put me through the ringer, and they got the call.
Yeah.
And you just feel this accomplishment. It's really cool.
It is a big deal. Baywatch, we're only messing with the creme de la creme. I mean, they broke so many people, you know what I mean? And they had their ear to the street before your issue even came out in Playboy. They were already scouring for the next it girl. I mean, that was Baywatch's one and only job, is to grab the new girl, the new most beautiful girl in the world, before the world knew about her. You know what I mean? Like fully. Yeah. So they were scouring, using all their contacts, and they saw you and were like, this is her. So that was, you were like, all this hard work. I've been recognized. They know I'm it. They're going to help me be it. And I think it's a cool crossover that some people, pretty much every lady out there wishes she would have, been a Baywatch babe, or been at the Playboy Mansion, or been a Playmate. And if they don't, they're well, I'm a Christian. I'm too, I would never do that. But then the cross between you doing that and being a Christian and taking that opportunity to be like, thank you, God, I'm going to make the best of this. I'm listening to the word while going to do. That's really cool. I like that story.
And it was funny because, when I was in LA, I had my Mercedes and all this nice stuff. And I remember when I was driving, making those drives, it's like, all you need in a car is automatic windows and automatic doors, and that's all. I was driving this old Dodge, and I didn't care. I was like, I have AC and I have automatic windows, and that's all I care about. And that was like awesome.
I got the crank up windows, and I just love that. I ran up on a guy yesterday that I knew, and I had to lean over. The stick shift was in my side. And
there
I'm
you
like,
go.
Hey.
Right now you have that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
my
Jeep.
Jeep. I got roll
because
up
you got
windows.
is it like a 64 Bronco or something?
Oh, it's
or?
a 90 something Jeep.
Oh.
And I love it. It's the greatest vehicle on the
Yeah.
planet. I love it
That's
so.
funny.
And the roll down windows just kind of keep it real.
That
you know what I'm
is
saying?
so well because we still do that when you're pulling up on someone to roll it. We still like this, even though
Yeah,
some
this
people
doesn't-
do. Yeah, yeah, the real rolling symbol. But yeah, it was So that's the best part of my story, my career that I just loved.
That's really
that.
neat.
That was a
Beautiful story.
turning point, and just it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that because that is a special moment. And those quiet moments to yourself when you're able to reflect on where your life was and where it is at that time.
Yeah.
It's such a neat place, especially when you can appreciate it. And you seem like a person that's appreciated everything you've done.
Absolutely.
And I love that. And
Every
I'm so
opportunity.
happy that you came in here to be a guest. I don't want to keep you too long. Jeremy, do you have any questions
Where
that I didn't
people
cover?
are watching the show. People want to buy a house from the hottest chick ever. Where do they find you? Let them know.
Yeah, so now I've decided to take the celebrity and turn it into my real estate work. So my website is yourcelebrityrealtor.com.
Beautiful.
That's my little slogan, Brande Roderick, Your Celebrity Realtor. And I have listings all the way South San Diego, all the way to the Oregon border in
Cool.
California. So I go all over the place. No matter what state you're in, I can refer you to the top broker in your area because I have this great network of brokers that I work with. And, it's awesome.
So people probably want to sell houses to a celebrity above and beyond somebody else that's just regular.
Yeah, because you're going to get my outreach like
Right.
I'm doing right now with you, and I can get out there on the social media, and I do way more marketing than any other agent I've ever known.
Beautiful.
So does a celebrity help? Does it really help your business, you think?
100%. Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yep.
Does it ever affect you in a negative way? Like, do you bring people with you when you have showings of houses and things like that? You probably got to be careful.
Oh, like stalkers and
Yeah.
I've been a little nervous at times, but I do have a taser and a stun
Uh-oh.
gun.
Watch out.
I have both tasers, and I'm getting my license to carry a real gun. But I do have things to protect myself. But I would never, have a big open house by myself. I would always have people there with me.
That's
just
legit.
in case. Yeah.
Yourcelebrityrealtor.com.
Your
Yep.
celebrity realtor. I can't say realtor. That word messes me
Does
up.
it?
A realty,
Realtor,
realtor.
I say-
Yeah.
Realtor?
Realtor. Yeah. It kind of.
Yeah.
You watch Santa Clarita Diet? They talk about that on their episodes.
Oh, they do?
Realtor.
Yeah. Realtor. Yeah.
I
love
guess
that
I
show.
say realtor.
I mean, that's what you're supposed
Yeah.
to say, I think.
Oh, okay. But some people do say
Realtor.
realtor.
So
Yeah.
now it's getting your tongue twisted.
No, I don't know. I'm like, what am I? Okay, realtor.
You're awesome. That's what
Yes.
you are,
Oh,
Brande
thank you,
Roderick.
Brande.
You are
Yay.
awesome.
Best.
Let's get some of
You
that
guys
fake
are
applause
awesome.
going on with some of the real applause. Brande, we're going to get you the Frog, the single
can't
most
wait.
effective total body training device ever created on the planet. And I promise you, and I would love nothing
So
more than
cool.
if you could, get back to me, like Jeremy said,
Absolutely.
if you could, do them a favor
post
and
to
post
post.
up some
Yeah. Of
Instagram
course.
stuff and
Yes,
all that. Wear your
100%.
used frog shirt that my
Yeah.
wife wore.
We'll come out and do a demo for you, show you how to use it, show you how the
Yeah.
kids how to use it. I'll
Oh,
throw it in the
that'd
back
be
of my
cool.
truck. I'm in Temecula. I'll bring it over to you.
Yes, let's
we'll
do
show you
that.
how to use it.
I have one at the house. If you
Don't
wanted to
post-
swing by on the way home, we could throw it in there today.
Don't post it until you realize how dope it is.
Yeah.
You don't even have to. You will want to.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
awesome.
that's perfect. Let's do that. That'll be fun.
Well,
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I
what a-
appreciate it.
This was amazing.
Thanks for stopping in.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Pants
Pants
Off
Off
podcast
Podcast.
with CB and JJ. But
That's
today
right.
we kept our pants on because we had to respect our amazing guest.
She wanted us to take them off.
She did.
What are you talking about?
But
I was just
you know how it
expecting
goes.
it, actually.
Good. Thank you.
And this episode was brought to you by Providence Video Productions, my man Jim Brook, who absolutely takes care of me all the time, and Frog Fitness. If you're interested in getting a frog, go to frogfitness.com, and I promise you, it will be the single most effective total body training device you've ever trained on in your entire life. I'm
that
Clark
Baywatch
Bartram.
body.
For my man Jeremy
Yeah.
Jackson, we love you, and make it a great day.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I go to Barron's by the EOS. I go to EOS gym. Yeah.
My office is
And
right
Jeremy
there.
Jackson.
Right there.
CBT.
We'll definitely run
Performance
into
apparel.
you.
Where fashion meets performance. Upload your custom design or grab the CBT's Deal of the Week at clarkstees.com.
Sit in.
Can
The
you do that?
podcast,
Would you take a
CB
picture of us
and
with our
JJ,
headphones
is
on,
sponsored
sit
by
down,
Providence
actually, so we
Video
can, like,
Productions in
behind
Escondido,
the
California.
scenes.
Pretty please.
Providers of full
And
creative,
I'll send you the
video,
link for
and
the
audio
podcast.
production services.
Is this?
It's on
Is
live
that yours?
focus.
Utilizing state-of-the-art professional equipment for all your broadcast needs. Web page
is the red
invented for
button?
live streaming videos and podcasts.
Looks like
Aerial
Looks like
drone
a video,
videography.
isn't it?
Music
And
videos,
then-
Clark,
3D
how's your phone take a
animation,
photo?
studio, and field production. Contact us at
Is that it? No,
providencevid.com.
it's doing video. I gotta hit the picture button. What's the picture button?